gift is a seed. You can easily be the change that we need. Keep your mind alert and your heart with peace. Be the change that we want to see. Yeah, go and share your gift. Yeah, your gift is a seed. You can easily be the change that we need. Keep your mind alert and fill your heart with peace. Be the change that we want to see. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mentality Unchained. I'm your host, the therapist, Kevin Thomas. Before we get started, I would ask that you guys go on YouTube, subscribe, go to Instagram, subscribe, like, and share. Today, I'm sitting here with the Golden Girls, Golden Divas, whatever they want to call themselves. But I want you guys to know we're going to have a little fun today. Usually this is a mental health show, and we'll still talk about some mental health. But I want to know about how you seasoned ladies are moving these days. And I talked to Miss Ida, and she said, let's talk about living our best life. So I want to talk to you guys about you living your best life. Okay? So if you guys don't mind, introduce yourself to the audience, and we'll talk about some things that that interest you.
I'm Elaine Mitchell.
I'm Emma Moore.
I'm Erma Burns.
I'm Ida Dandridge.
Now, I want to ask you guys to loosen up and enjoy this thing, because you guys were cutting up before we got on here. So I don't want you to change any little thing.
I thought you was going to say more.
So how long you guys been friends?
Oh, wow. I met her through work probably over 30 years ago.
Okay.
But we weren't friends then, though. But I met Erma about 25 years ago, and I met Ida at church 21 years ago.
Oh, that's a long time. So you guys been friends ever since?
Yeah.
Yes. I met Emma during the time her husband was ill, and we became friends.
Gotcha. And we're gonna
I've known them before from the past.
Gotcha. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that too. I know I want to have fun, but I also want to be serious with you guys too. I want to let you know that I do respect every one of you guys, so I will say Mrs.
Okay, that's fine.
But at the same
Thank
time,
you.
I know you guys look at yourselves as something different, so I'm gonna allow you to do that as well. So let's get into this. Miss Elaine, I need to start with you. I want to ask you, what is it about life that you love right now?
For me,
Yes,
right now?
yeah.
Maybe a lot of more privacy.
More privacy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get enough. Too many people around me.
So, Miss Emma, what do you think about what she just said? How you feel about it?
I like the privacy. I also like my freedom. That when I get ready to go somewhere or do some things, I don't have to ask anybody that, hey, I'm getting ready to go here, and I'm going to go.
So, nobody's married here, right?
No.
Wow.
Divorced.
Widowed.
Widowed.
Divorce.
Divorced.
Divorce.
Divorced, widowed.
Yes.
So is that an indictment on men, or is it just like...
They were no good.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I was married young.
Okay.
And so, maybe if I married now, he got to be a totally different animal.
Gotcha.
It might work, but not.
So you guys travel a lot together.
We have.
We have.
Where's some of the places you guys been?
Oh,
Atlanta.
The Bahamas. Went on a cruise.
Okay.
That was something.
No, so all the shopping areas in Illinois.
Vegas. And,
Yep.
yeah, I've tried. I retired about 11 years ago, and I probably traveled more and did more than I ever have since that date.
Gotcha. So did you guys, once you're divorced and widowed, did you think that it was time to really just own yourself, just get out and do some things, or it took a while?
It took me a while because I felt like I didn't feel good. I felt like, why he didn't want me or stuff like that. I had a sign on my back.
Yeah.
So I felt really bad. I went through some changes. Then my son died, so that took me through a lot. But my friends, they helped me through it.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
What about? Go ahead.
I would say the same thing as Erma said. I had some challenges in my life, and now I'm at the point in my life that I just want to be happy with myself. And a lot of the reason why my divorce ended because I didn't look for love in the wrong places and end up with bad relationships. So now I'm very happy with myself, and I had to find out first to love me. I had to love me first, and then before you can get into a relationship.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What do you think young ladies are missing now when it comes to relationships? Because you brought that up. It's like you almost were young yourself and didn't understand the concept of marriage or relationships. What is some of these young ladies?
I don't think that they really feel the worth. They are worth gold. They are important. They are beautiful, no matter what size, what color. It's just like, I don't know. They just feel they should. I don't take everything from a certain person, But no, you are worth more. You're worth gold. Okay. God made you,
Well, the young ladies I see, I mean, they could be now. I mean, they got more confidence than I ever had.
Yes.
Even in my life now. They got confidence. They think they could do anything, and they do.
Right.
But I had to get older to know that I was worth something, When I was young, I'm supposed to fix the plates. I'm supposed to watch the kids. I'm supposed to go to work a job.
Yeah.
That's what I did when I was married. But no, now they wouldn't take that.
Wow. You know what? I didn't see that either. I'm glad you brought that up. What do you think, Miss Emma?
Well, I think the communication is key in any relationship, and I don't feel that they really get to know one another before they marry. So communication is very important, to know what one or the other dislike, and to, see if they will be capable of having a good relationship. So actually communication. But as the other said, these ladies today, they are very open about what they want, what they don't want, and that's important because you got to know your self-worth.
Yeah.
You got to know that you are enough, regardless as to how he may think or anybody else. So we're in a new world today, especially the young women. So I just think communication is key.
Do you think that any of you guys think that a lot of your upbringing kind of played a part into how
Definitely.
Most
Definitely.
Because we
were,
came up under
I saw
our
my mother
parents.
fix the plates. I saw my mother do all this. And, and I thought I was supposed to do it. There's nothing wrong with it if that's, but, these ladies right now, they, my kids didn't see me do it. So they're not going to do it, you know. So therefore, it's getting old. It's like, these
So
ladies.
do you have any regrets?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I took a lot. I fixed the food. I worked 8 hours a day, and then I come home. I did all this. I didn't babysit. Then my husband, ex-husband, he did what he wanted to do and cheated too. And so hey, I'm doing all this, and you doing what you doing. No, not no more.
So what do you guys, starting with you, Miss Ida? What do you guys think about mental health? This thing, because I know as you guys were growing up, mental health wasn't really out there like that. Now it's like at the forefront. What do you guys think about mental health?
Well, right now, I think mental health is very important because of the fact where I came from, Mississippi, and I live with grandparents. My grandparents raised me. And number one, they didn't talk about nothing. Anything that happened that was not supposed to have been said in the house, they swept it under the table. And even, I've heard for many years, my grandparents were saying, well, don't mess with John. He crazy. They did those kind of things. And another thing that I did not see in the home, the reason why my marriage might not work is because I never saw them hold hand. I never saw them kiss. I never saw any of that. So
Yeah.
I felt like now I feel like that's some of the problems that happened in my marriage because I didn't know what love really was.
Yeah. Yeah. Miss Erma, what do you think?
Well, I think that like with my mom and dad, I never seen them fight or argue. You know, unless they was behind closed doors. But then once my mother never left my dad, but one day she left him. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
She left my father, but then she went back to him. But anyway, they don't believe in leaving. You know, like now I'll divorce you in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it. Life is too short.
Okay.
You know, you shouldn't have to go through that. But like, I didn't know I had a mental illness because I have anxiety.
Yeah.
And when I asked you, you said, "Yeah, it was I'm mentally ill." I am mentally ill. But you know, what I was going through with my son, it was just too much, and I didn't know what to do. One time I was driving, had to pull over because I couldn't drive no more. So I called Elaine, and she had to come and get me. Yeah. And then she said, "You got to get on medicine." I didn't think, "Oh, I don't need no medicine." Well, that day I said, "Yeah, I need some medicine."
Right?
So I got medicine now. I've been on it ever since. But you know, I learned that I need God too.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I got to have God too.
Yeah.
But I'm better. You know,
you better.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you
I'm
for
better.
sharing that.
Sometimes I don't get them phone calls at 3 or 4 o'clock
Yeah,
in the
I called
morning.
him. I have an anxiety attack.
So you get them. You have those panic and anxiety attacks.
Yes, I
that
do.
often. That
They getting better now. She changed my medicine.
Good.
She weaned me off of this one, but I've learned the breathing techniques.
Yes.
I've learned my nephew told me something about headspace. And so I'm doing all that. So it's not really, because I used to be scared I was having a heart attack, but I had a whole new, you know, they did a whole thing about me. And my heart was fine. She said, "You're not going to have a heart attack." You know, I thought I was dying.
You know, that is so important that you, at your seasoned age, to be talking about anxiety and talking about your experience, because we have a lot of people shame of it, you know. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the way probably each and every one of you guys have grown up, you're susceptible to something.
Yes.
It's just so easy to be, because our parents and grandparents, they didn't know what was going on. They just dealt with what they dealt with, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes we just bury it, and then it becomes a big thing. So thank you for getting help, and thank you for recommending help.
Also, Kevin, this is how we really connected
Yeah.
because she called me one day
Okay.
and was crying out to me and asked me what did I do
Yeah.
when my son passed away.
Yeah.
And I told her, you need to go get help. I went and got help as well.
Wow.
I had to go on medication to deal with the trauma of my son's death. And I wish that on no parents, even now when someone's son or daughter get killed, it affects me.
Yeah. That's that indirect trauma.
Yeah.
You know, we as a people, African American people, we have this opportunity to be involved in what they call racial trauma. It's like when something happens to someone that looks like us, someone that we feel that has been through the same thing, it affects us. And so I definitely concur with what you're saying. Miss Emma, what do you think about mental health?
Well, I wasn't too aware of mental health growing up, but as I got older, I realized there was quite a bit of mental health right in my family. And I had a sister who experienced a bipolar situation, and I didn't realize that is mental health. And so once my husband got really sick, I had to end up get on medication because it was so draining, you know, to see him that way. So I realized that mental health can affect us in many ways, and especially with family. Just recently, I had 3 siblings to pass within 3 weeks of each other, and I still have not gotten any counseling, but I really feel I need to, because that was really a situation, just 3 right in a row. 2 was kind of expected because they were sick, but the third one was not.
Gotcha.
And so I wake up at night sometime feeling sad. So I know I need to go and get some counseling, just for that.
Gotcha.
Where's your cards?
I'll get you your cards. After we finish, I'll get your cards.
Yeah.
Miss Elaine, what's your thought on mental health?
Well, my thought on mental health, I've seen it. I lived it. My mom, she died at 41, and she was going through the change of life at that time.
Yeah.
And she had a nervous breakdown, basically. And, we watched that, and then I had family members going through the same thing, So sometimes I feel a little scared, it's going to happen to me,
Yeah.
But I did, when I find myself doing something, I was on an antidepressant, but I had an accident at work, and they had to test you. They had to test you, and they said, "Oh, you on PCP?"
So you stopped taking it.
I weaned myself off.
Okay, you weaned yourself off.
And I've been doing. I don't know if I'm doing all right, y'all.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you doing good. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're doing good.
we talk about mental health, and I want to have a little bit more fun, but I don't want to overlook the deaths that you guys have had. All of you guys. You guys usually kind of depend and lean on each other with that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Get mad at each other.
Yeah.
Next day, we just going on that. Girl, what you talking about the other day?
Yeah,
it's
I
just like,
noticed
you
Emma
forget.
was depressed about a couple months ago. I could tell in her voice. And
She
I
stayed in
called-
bed all day.
I
That's
called
that's
her.
the main. Yeah.
I called her and I shared with her. I said, Emma, are you depressed? And she said yes. And I tried to give her some advice what she needs to do. So she kind of bounced back. She's back.
Gotcha.
She's back.
Do you guys know the most important thing is what you guys have here? Is the support.
Yes, yes.
You need support when you're going
Yes.
through these type of things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you guys have it.
Yes.
You guys have
Oh, yeah.
it.
And it really helps that we do kind of like each other.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes.
my friend right here.
That's normal, too. Yeah.
I don't like nobody all the time.
Not all the time.
No,
Okay.
nobody.
So let's switch gears here because I don't want to gloom
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
episode here,
Yeah.
but I do want to be sensitive to that mental health piece with you guys. So who's dating right now?
That's an item.
No, why are you saying that?
You at least have a friend.
I said a friend.
A friend, okay.
There's a difference between friends.
Well, we ain't got zips.
I ain't got nothing.
Because
Me
I'm
neither.
waiting.
Me either.
I'm
Zips,
waiting.
nothing.
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 I have a very good friend.
Very good friend.
And
Okay.
we always saying, well, what is wrong with us? But then
No,
we
I
say,
don't.
I don't say
I don't
there's
say that
nothing
one.
wrong with me.
I don't say nothing.
She
And
want
you
one.
know, because the old men are too old. Men for me are the age. They too old for me and my age.
Right.
And so the ones younger, sometimes they could get too young, and
they want cougars. We won't pay.
Y'all
We
ain't
want
no
to pay.
cougars?
No.
I like younger men. I do.
I would prefer
younger
a
men?
man
Yes, I do.
at least 7 years younger
7
than me.
7 years younger.
Yes, because if he's the same age as me, he's too slow.
old.
He too slow?
Too
Yeah.
slow. And he doesn't have communication too much at that age. It's yeah.
Okay. 7 years younger because they too slow.
I like them my age.
You like them your age?
As long as they ain't on no wheelchair, ain't got no bag. I like them my age. I really do.
You like them your age?
Yes.
Long as they can get around, huh?
Yeah, don't have to have nothing to help them with. As long as they got their place, I got my place.
Okay. Oh, you don't no living
No
together.
living
No living together. No.
That's the worst thing you can do. I wish I could tell the young girls, don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
do that.
don't
Why?
do that.
Because it's hard to get them out.
Hard to get them out.
And then,
If you're not good enough to marry me,
yeah.
and you
You
want to
got
live
the collar,
with
getting the
me,
milk
no.
and everything. Then later on they marry somebody else. Then you want to tear up the
Right.
But don't you get into relationships to be together? And
I think, yeah.
yeah, but it's just not time.
I think it's we as me. I'm gonna use me.
Okay.
Like I be thinking they, you know, I see that they want me, but no, they don't see that. The men don't. They, you know, if they tell you something, they telling the truth.
Okay.
Don't be trouble. I'm gonna get him. Not if you don't. We just friends. They just friends.
Okay.
You gotta remember that.
And I think you need to tell them right up front.
You need to tell them up front.
Yeah, right up
Honesty
front.
is everything,
Be
right?
honest, you know, because they will expect a lot more from you than you are willing to give.
You guys sound like you guys are bold now. I don't know if
Yes,
that's
we are. We're very bold. Being
Giving it-
single will make you bold because you have you to
Yeah.
depend on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
there-
at my age, I don't want nobody that don't have anything. And I'm not saying that I want what they got. I want them. If you're I'll be 70, and you're 60 something, even 55. You should have something.
Okay.
You know, you should have started, or you should have something, and don't want what I have.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know.
I like that.
and with me being widowed, my husband was a great provider. So you're not coming up to me on a bus
Okay.
and you're going to have some security. You know, you're going to have your...
You got a standard, huh?
You got to have your Social Security and pension.
Some of them ain't even work long enough or hard enough, you know, they get SSI. I want them to get Social Security.
And have a pension.
And
Right.
yeah, that's good.
Two
Pension.
things, pension and Social Security, if you're that
And
age.
if they treat me
And don't
treat
ride
me
on
like
a bike.
queen.
Don't ride on the bike.
Yeah, you gotta have a car.
Can't have no bike.
You gotta have a car.
Okay.
Well, you know,
A car.
Yeah.
So why did they name you guys the Golden Girls or the Golden Divas? Where did that come from?
Because we probably showed the boldness that the Golden Girls do show.
Okay.
We care about how we look.
Okay.
And we know we have a great appearance to the public. So that's probably why.
You speak for yourself.
So
Well, that's what she think. But anyway, no, it's one guy we go to our church, Titus Copeland. And Titus,
Titus
started
Stark.
calling us that.
Okay.
Because, we,
Starks.
speak into the mic, Miss Elaine.
Titus Stark. Sorry, Titus. Love
Starks.
you. But anyway, he started calling us that because he saw we get out and we go
things.
places,
Okay.
and he saw us trying to dress up and look halfway decent,
So I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit. Who was who?
I'm Blanche.
I know. I'm not saying,
I love men.
Okay. Who?
I'm Rose. They gave me Rose, I think, because I like to talk.
No,
that ain't why.
Not because she was the oldest one.
Okay.
Sophia.
Oh,
I
that
guess
was-
I'm Sophia.
I guess.
You so
Cause
far.
I'm
I'm
Dorothy.
not being
I have definitely
Rose because I
Dorothy,
like
I
Betty
consider
White.
myself a little bit smarter than a real girl.
And she is pretty much. She been around the block.
Wow.
I watch-
Okay,
I
I
watch-
stirred it up.
I
Let's
watch
bring it back.
Jeopardy.
You watch Jeopardy? Okay. So, you guys watch the news.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All this stuff is going on.
Oh yeah.
I know. I want to hear your opinions. Like, what do you think of the world right now?
I think it's in a mess.
No, I think we getting ready.
Just
It's
like
just
with
too much.
the basketball player. That's that.
Go
I'm
ahead
not
and
gonna say that.
Say what you gonna say.
Brittany Gardner.
What about Brittany
Griner.
Griner?
Yeah.
Brittany Griner.
Yes.
What about Brittany
That is
Griner?
a mess. That is a mess straight up. Here, this girl has played basketball internationally, goes over there. She has a little bit of weed because of her illness.
Sure.
And because of where she was in Moscow,
Russia. She was over there.
Russia, they treat her just
They're not-
terrible.
they're not treating
and
her
I don't
because
believe, to me, the United States are not doing enough.
Okay.
I mean, the president say he's gonna get her out, but here they are just sentenced her, and so that is a mess.
But
that
the
is
thing
just
about that is,
terrible.
Emma, that
Speaking to the mic, Miss
it's
Elaine.
it's a ploy. They want something for something. They're
Yes.
gonna let her go, but they got to give them the ones that shot up everybody, killed everybody. They want murderers. They want all them out. They want them out. And so that's difficult. But what my problem is, it's not even that. When I hear about a cop shooting a black man or George Floyd and stuff like that, that's the kind of stuff that bothers me.
That bothers you.
That bothers me to no end, and I stopped watching the news for a spell
Okay.
because every time I turn it on, Donald Trump was on there. And so, I had to give myself a break from it because it was just too much happening, and so even now, I watch it 4 days, 5th day I'm out, but I don't watch it like every day because you'll be depressed.
Yeah, it is
You're right.
depressing.
Very
Yeah,
depressing.
it's very
It is
depressing.
depressing.
Because I feel like, when I watch it on the news, it just hurts my heart, especially about little kids, and then the way they treat black men. And I be praying for all the young black men, and they said, well, he shouldn't have ran. There's no reason to kill him.
Yeah.
There was no reason to kill him. And then all the other stuff, it just seemed like God is tired.
What you
Well,
gonna
what
say
I was
something?
going to say, what really upsets me the most is our own black men are killing one another.
Yeah.
That's one of my pet peeve is that what is happening to them.
Wow.
Just with this incident just happened past weekend, that just blew me away.
Do you guys remember when you were raising your kids? Just think back for a moment, like some instances where your sons or your daughters may have been acting out. How did you handle that situation? Did it continue? What did you do? Because what I feel and what I try to educate people on is that a lot of things just don't happen. It's always something underneath the surface.
Right.
So I'm curious of how you address your children at those young ages when they started to make different decisions than what you wanted them to.
I think that your faith has a lot to do with how you raised your children. And I had 2 boys, and I also had a husband. So those 2 things really made a difference, I believe, in how they did act. I'm not saying they were perfect boys because they were not, but they never act out to the point where you had to just, punish them, very hard. But it's the upbringing for the foundation of your faith and a man being in presence. Now, I'm not saying that dismiss women who raise good young men because I
Right.
know a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm saying those 2 things that I experienced with my boys, and they turned out very well.
Okay.
And but you got to have a foundation, and I believe a lot of this, the way these young men are acting out today, is I don't believe they had that foundation, the faith foundation, and in some cases, not a good male image.
Yeah, I like that.
Not even single women can raise men. You raise a man from the time they are born. You start raising them. And far as my son is 52 years old. I never whipped him. I never did that. I didn't believe in that. Because I wasn't, it was kind of getting watered down. I've seen people get whipped with extension cords and all that kind of stuff. My parents didn't do that. So, when it got to me, I didn't do that. But I was able to talk to my kids and tell them, look, I'm a single parent. My job is to go over there at Warner Lambert and get that money so we can eat. And your job is to go to school, get your education. And I don't know how to do most of y'all homework, so y'all get that at school. And both of my kids did very well in school. Yeah. So, you can raise men to be, boys to be men. You can do it. A woman can do it. But right now, it's just, it don't seem like men or women have it right. The young women, they don't, they don't raise kids. They just have them. And
I will say this, though, Miss Elaine, is that just what Miss Emma was saying, there is a benefit of having the man in the home.
Oh, yes,
No,
it is.
yeah.
It definitely is.
I-
My father was in my home,
Yeah.
so I know that.
Yeah.
The right
one. The right one.
The right one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
The right
I
one.
agree.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a benefit to that. My father was a father, and
Yeah.
and so back then it wasn't no fathers. Too many
Yeah.
fathers on the street, and sometimes I got a father because he at home, because other kids got to do more.
Yeah.
Right.
But I know that I have most of what I have is because I had a father.
Yeah. I think, and then too, like, as a young man, you really don't know how to navigate the world.
No.
I had a grandfather. I lived with my grandparents, and he was really old. He was like 70 something when I was real young. He was raising me, and he did certain things that I picked up on that helped me. And so when you don't have those male figures in the home, we're like kind of lost.
Right.
And then we kind of going at it blind. Then we become adults, and now guess what? We're making these type of decisions, and it's affecting everyone around us.
Right.
So I think that is extremely important. Miss Erma, Miss Ida, what's your takes on that, on how you guys raise your kids?
Well, the way I raised my son is where, he got a whooping when he did something really bad. But like my son was like a big clown. Okay. So, he did good. He did all right in school and stuff. But then when he got to senior, he want to act a fool and don't want to graduate. Oh, you going to graduate. Oh, you going to graduate. You know what I'm saying? I tried everything. And his dad was never there. He was never there. But my brother helped a lot. His uncle and then his best friend.
Good.
He helped a lot. Because, he would go down to their house and go to down south with him and everything. Because that was his second family. So they helped him a lot. And he would talk to Terrence's stepdad, and that was like his father. Okay, and he helped a lot.
Gotcha.
But with my son, he was going to church, but I was going to church. So he did. He kind of bought me out, but when he passed, that really got me closer to God.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
So I was going, but not going a lot.
I got you.
Same as Erma again. I was brought up without my parents in my life, but I had good grandparents that was, old school. When a male came around or anybody came to the house, you got to go outside and stay till that person leave. You couldn't be in grown folks' conversations.
Gotcha.
So I brought my son up that way, kind of when it started out. And granted, my son was a really good kid, but he got 26 years old. He started hanging out with friends that kind of misled him the wrong path of life. And then all of a sudden, things started happening. He knew the way. But, when they find those friends, I would just say, choose your friends.
Yeah. We have to cover our kids because they don't know when they get out in the world. And one young lady said something to me. She says, they raise you or they say you got to hurry up and grow up. But then when I grow up and I get out, I don't know nothing. Right. And then they get mad at me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. And so
true.
And she said she felt ill-equipped. She wasn't ready for it. And so she started to do things that she looked back and now is like, I really made some big mistakes. You know? I think sometimes we trying to hold the reins a little bit tight.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't allow them to experience things.
Right.
We don't allow them to fall and fail at things. And then when they get older and they start to fail at it, it's like a shocker to the system.
Yes.
And so, it's almost we have to kind of balance that thing. It's like when they're doing stuff at a young age, you got to pick your battles. Like, I'm going to let you sit in that and learn from that so you can know that these are the things that you shouldn't do.
But being a mom, we don't have no, it's like guessing back and forth, your parents can tell you, well, this is the way you're supposed to be, but it's hard raising a child.
Yeah.
It really is. You don't have no plan or no pamphlet to tell you what to do, how to do, when to do. It's just like, just pray,
But I think it's harder to raise them in this. If I had to start over in this day and time,
Oh,
man, I don't know if I could do it.
How would you guys deal with your kids if they were dealing with mental illness?
That'd be tough. That'd be really tough because we haven't had the knowledge of mental illness. Like you said, it's been like pushed aside. We didn't call it mental illness. We just said, hey, crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
So with the awareness of mental illness now, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing because we're all crazy.
We're not supposed to use that word, Emma.
Thank you, Miss Ida. Miss Emma, we're not going to use
that
word.
Sorry, I apologize.
We
We just love a Snicker bar. We're Snickers.
My last guest said there is no context in which the word crazy is a great word.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
thank
not.
you for educating me.
Yes.
Not
Is
crazy,
there,
but
is there an embarrassment attached to having a
Oh.
kid that deals with mental illness?
oh, definitely it would be. You know, now that I'm grown up now, because now I could handle it. Even my family members. You know, it was embarrassing to me. I had some people that's really was out there.
Yeah.
And it was embarrassing to me. Now, why was it embarrassing to me?
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just being honest.
Right.
It was embarrassing.
Do you still know why you were embarrassed?
The stigma, I don't know.
stigma.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you know, we don't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
We're good for that, right?
Oh,
Black people are
definitely,
good
definitely.
for
Oh
stigmatizing
yeah, we
mental
stigmatize you
illness.
in a minute.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
We'll just, we'll disown you and everything. We'll tell people they got a little problem, beforehand.
No,
Because we don't like to.
I
we don't
stayed
like
the
to
heck
feel
away.
like we are related to that.
That's what I
person.
did, and I'm. This wasn't no play mental illness. This was all out, but I couldn't handle it. You know, I didn't know what to do, but I stayed away.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I just thank God that person had a support that stuck with her.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it was terrible. You know, and I didn't want to tell nobody. I don't. You know, what happened to her. You know.
And for,
Mr.
Oh,
go ahead.
go
I
ahead. Go ahead.
forget you, Thomas, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
With you being an expert on mental illness, do you see black people in general admitting that they feel they are mental?
Okay. So I'm going to answer that, but I'm going to let you go first, and then I'm going to answer what she said. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say too, for a long time, I did not recognize, which I forgot because I was a young child, that there were mental illness in my family, my mother in particular. I didn't know much about the situation. Again,
Yeah.
they were saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with your mom. She's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know about it.
Gotcha.
And like now, it was real.
Yeah.
And it's hereditary. And the way I look at mental illness, it's no different than having cancer.
Yeah.
You gotta, you gotta take your medication. You gotta go to your to get your radiation, whatever you gotta have.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But to answer your question, Miss Emma, I see everything that Miss Elaine said. I see the shame, the stigma. I see the lack of understanding, the lack of education, and sometimes the lack of just wanting to understand. It's more or less they're hiding. They know, but they won't admit to it. It takes a strong person to admit that they're ill mentally.
Okay.
It's okay to say I got a pain in my leg. It's okay to say I broke my arm, and it's okay to go see the doctor. But it's not okay to say mentally I'm not there right now.
I mean, you can have cancer. It's okay to have cancer, but
Absolutely.
it's not okay to be mentally ill.
Yes.
And that's a huge
It
problem
is.
in our
It is.
community.
Yes.
It is,
If
'cause
when we
don't
think
wanna be
that,
feeling
and
that
here's a bigger thing now, and I have to say this because I want to be honest, is that I find in my practice that a lot of people are struggling right now with mental illness in the church
Yes.
Oh,
I
yes.
agree.
because they're being told that they are sinning or
Right.
their mental illnesses
Right.
because they sinned.
Yes.
That's not true.
No.
Yeah.
I pray and hope that we stop sending that message to people because we're pushing them away when we should be pulling them in. And so I see that a lot. They're ashamed to admit it around their family members because they're saying, well, my uncle said that, I because all the sin that I've done in my youth, that's why I'm suffering now. Stuff like that. So I hear it all. And so
right.
that I'm just asking that everyone really just listen to people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's not
Right.
something that they're saying. Mental illness is a biological thing.
Oh yeah.
And so it's genetic, kind of what Ms. Ida was saying. You know, some of these things are not just because you did something or made a bad decision.
Right.
Some of these things are hereditary. And so we have to know ourselves, know our history, know our people. We have to know that. Just like Ms. Ida said again, it's like as a kid in that time that you guys were growing up, they didn't see or understand what was happening to mama. They just knew mama something wasn't right.
Right.
But no one could educate them.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's what we have to do now is what we have to do
Right.
is educate. The more we educate, less people will feel stigmatized and shame. Of it.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about, like, okay, you know, the mental illness and stuff, but like addiction? That's kind of like a mental illness.
Well, see, so what we have is we call it a comorbid disorder, meaning you have an addiction disorder and a mental illness. They go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, it's just the tricky part is finding out which one comes first, right?
Right.
And so a lot of times we get a lot of soldiers. They had PTSD. My stepdad had PTSD, and then they start to indulge in drugs and alcohol and other stuff. So you know, it just depends on what's happening in life. So guess what? Life situation dictates how we behave mentally.
Well, just like for instance, to me, us as black people, we were poor from our land. We were enslaved. We were really, basically, to this day, they still don't want to recognize us. So you know, we wonder what happened to the men. The men were beat down. They were work. They always say that, you know, the black man and the black woman. You know, the difference is, you know, we stayed there and fought. You know what I mean? We stayed with our family and took care of our family.
Yeah.
We fought. What's the difference? I don't understand. We all were enslaved. We all were done this, you know, this way. So I don't understand that. And then after all what we went through, we should be mental.
Wow. Woo, that's profound.
Yes.
And I
yes.
sometimes wonder, how did I survive all the trauma that I went through? Me too. My mom had 4 of us. I'm the oldest, and all 3 of her children have passed away. Wow. And I was the person to aid to them. I mostly took care of most of my family, and yet and still God have a purpose for me to do what I do now. I living my best life, exercising. I go to the gym at least 4 to 5 days a week, and I enjoy it. I meet people and have good conversation with them. Most of the people say, "Hey, do everybody know you in the gym?" I'm like, yeah.
So you ain't getting any workout if everybody know you though.
Yeah, some days I don't get a good workout because I'm talking.
Yeah. But that's good. That's good.
But that's good that she has an outlet to communicate.
And don't forget my church family.
And I'm gonna touch
yes.
on that, but I want to touch on what Miss Elaine said about all the beatings and the women having to stand up and the men being ostracized, pretty much all of that kind of stuff. And now we fast forward years later and we never addressed it. You know,
right.
years of history of being in slavery, enslaved, and all.
They
these
don't
things.
even want to
And
teach it in
ain't,
school.
Ain't nobody right. And so guess what we're forced to do? Pack it down even more, right?
Right, right.
And so that's where we're at right now. So I'm almost willing to bet most African American people have some sort of trauma, not knowing that they have it.
Right.
You know?
And you go back and you don't even know who your ancestors are.
Right.
You know,
Right.
90% of us don't know who our ancestors are.
Do you guys find that important to know who your
I
Yeah.
am.
Important.
Yeah.
Very
I had a problem
important.
Very
one
important.
time. I was going to date my cousin.
Yeah.
It's very
Yes,
important.
important.
That's your cousin.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
And I told him, and he said, "Oh, that's all right."
That's funny.
No, that's not all right.
That ain't all right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you
growing
know-
up in the South, it just seemed like we were kin to everybody.
Right.
Because your parents did not want you to mingle and intermingle, have a relationship with your cousin, you know, and so we don't really know if they were cousins or not.
Gotcha.
But that's what they practice telling us when we were at the age of dating.
Yeah.
And so myself, I don't even know my grandparents. So mine just cut off right there.
Gotcha.
You know, my parents didn't talk about them, and I've seen my dad's mother once in my whole life. And, you know, and I seen his dad once. And, you know, we didn't visit down south every summer. So I didn't know. That's why I don't know half of my cousins now. You know, now they want to get together and be family.
And you don't know 'em.
I'm too old.
Yeah.
I don't need no more family.
Gotcha.
You know?
Uh-oh. So now let's get into what's gotten you guys this far. And I've heard it, your spirituality. I don't like to use religion because it's more of a routine or a cultish feeling, like a group of thing.
Right.
But spirituality is your connection with your higher power, which is God.
Yes.
Right.
Let's talk about that. That got you guys, because you guys all have experienced a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your relationships with God.
Well, he's my friend for one thing.
All right.
And he's my best friend.
Well, you need to say that strong with conviction.
He's
in
my
that mic.
best friend.
Okay.
Because, you know, I ain't never heard nothing I told him that I heard it back.
Okay.
And I know my friends say stuff about me sometimes.
Oh, not Miss Erma.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They feel, you know, I say stuff about
Because
them.
we are human.
Because we
Yeah.
are human. And I'm just saying, you know, I'm not really like, you know, you tell me get up and say a prayer in front of, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
My prayers are all for me and God.
Okay.
And so I'm not like that. And I just know that if I wouldn't have made it this far, some of the things I look back in my life and I said, boy, I went through that,
Yeah.
but I came through that.
Yes.
I'm here because I know who brought me through that, you know. And it ain't been easy, you know. So that's me.
Why do people think because you have a relationship with God, things got to be easy?
It's not.
Not.
No.
That's why I said I had a
He said
lot
it
of
wouldn't be
hard
easy.
times.
Without him, it would be a lot harder.
You wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
You would not
Gotcha.
make
Right.
it.
Gotcha.
I'm here because I know him, and I made it. I mean, some of the things I wouldn't even. I have never told anybody, and I know somebody might know, but some of the things, you know, like Pastor Copeland say sometimes, if you know something about me, you probably wouldn't want to sit by me,
Right.
because you know I'm this person, you know. But I know I could tell God. He knows me. He knows
Yes.
everything about me. He knows
Right.
everything I did and everything I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Okay. Ms. Emma, what you got?
I'm very grateful to have God in my life because without him, I truly fall. He's been my guide ever since I knew him. And I'm not saying I knew him in the way that I know him now. And I do have a relationship with God, and because he guides me. You know, I asked... I talk to him almost like I'm talking to you. Should I do this? Should I do that? And in some way, he shows me if it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. So I'm so grateful to have that spirituality part in my life.
Oh. What about you, Miss Erma?
Well, with me, it's like when I first started going to church, it wasn't like that. You know, what I mean, like, why are we going to church? But then, you know, why? But then now it's like, you know, even when I had all my anxiety and stuff, you know, I said, I'm gonna talk to the person that really can help me.
All right.
You know, I call him, you know, but he can help me. He can hear me. And sometimes, you know, I'd be saying, Lord, just help me, you know, give me strength. And my anxiety would go away. You know, I'd be saying, well, darn, you know, he really does hear you.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
And he loves
Yes,
us, you know, and
yes.
like, you know, it's
Yes.
just some things is so hard. Sometimes you're saying, well, why you didn't do this? 'Cause I used to ask them, why you take my son from me?
Yeah.
You know, I used to ask that all the time.
That's
you know,
huge.
yeah, we said why, you know, but why not?
Yes. Yes.
Why not?
But you wanted to
Yeah.
take somebody else.
Not
That's
the
what I'm
only
saying.
one.
Why
Yeah,
not?
You're not the only
You know,
one.
and so I learned through that that, he's the father.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to your father, and like, it's like, some days I have good days, some days I have bad days, but I know I got him. He loves me deeply, and I can talk to him and tell him anything, Yeah.
Powerful. Miss
Yes. Well, my good days have outweighed my bad ones. And also, I learned in Psalms 139, 13, 14 says, I was covered in my mother's womb. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made by him. So without him, I would be nothing today.
Yep.
You guys are some strong women. Strong women. My hats off. I respect you guys at the highest. I will say that these are the things that need to happen when it comes to healing.
Yes. Yes.
We as a people have to heal. We as a family have to heal. Individuals have to heal. Only way we heal, we have to have some tears.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have to have some time.
Yes.
And we most definitely have to understand where we are in life. Because at the end of the day, if you don't understand where you are, you can't fix anything.
Nope.
So my hat's off to you guys. I want to give you guys your flowers right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we get out of here, because I know you guys are like, don't got comfortable now, right?
Yeah.
We can do a couple more hours, right?
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you leave to young ladies today?
I want these young ladies to live their life, because that's how I did mine. I lived my life. I lived my life, and I didn't think that much of God, and that's the best way. If I knew God all my life, and I said, "Oh, I knew God," and nothing never happened to me, and all that, I'm glad everything happened to me. And I'm glad that I would say, I used to go to church. We go to church. We look at one another and say, "Don't get nothing out of it." I said, "Me." They jumping all around doing that, And I said, I'm glad that I waited. Okay. That I knew. I'm probably maybe in my late 40s. I could say I'm a baby. I'm a baby at this. Gotcha. I was in my late 40s before I said something is working with me. Yeah. And I knew that.
Wow. Okay. Ms. Erma, what you got?
My advice definitely would be that they do have God in their lives, because that is what's going to lead them the right way. But I do believe that they should be themselves, that they should know that they are enough, that they have self-worth, and that just live their best life.
Gotcha. I like that. Ms. Erma, what you got?
Well, they said everything. All I can say is, you're gonna make mistakes, but don't let it tear you down. Don't let it take you where you say, well, I'm not, good enough, or I'm not this. But like you say, work, have your stuff, do what you want to do, travel, I don't know if, instead of having, a lot of children and stuff, do all that before you get married. Do all of that. So you can say, I'm ready to settle down. I did that. I've done that.
Good. I did it backwards.
There you go. You didn't know no better. What you got, Ms. Ida?
Well, what I would say to the young ladies, first of all, know who you are. Love yourself first. Trust God. Live your best life. Travel while you're young, before you have children. Just enjoy your life. I made some big mistakes myself. Yeah. So it's okay you make big mistakes. Just pull yourself up by your own bootstrap and start all over again, especially when you're 25 and even 30. You got a chance to pull yourself back up.
Right. Yep. Right. What's next for the Golden Girls as a group?
Oh, it's time for a trip.
I haven't been to Vegas yet.
COVID did slow us down.
Yes,
I'll
it
be
did.
70
It
in
did.
October. I think a Vegas trip is in.
Yes.
Vegas trip is in order.
Vegas, here we come.
What happens in
And
Vegas
you know-
stays in
you know
Vegas.
what
What happens in Vegas stays
Stay in
in
Vegas.
Vegas.
Don't nobody know me.
We talk that stuff And we be asleep by 10 o'clock.
We went to a play, and it started at 8 o'clock. We went to see the Dreamgirls. It was really, really good.
Okay.
Really good.
And it was like 10 o'clock. I was like, Emma said, wake up.
It ain't good yet.
I mean, I don't know why. I go to, you know,
That's
a
our
certain time.
routine.
Our routine.
And
you know.
then too, Kevin, we had to realize we sit too long. We got to
Yeah,
get
take-
somebody to help us get out of the chair.
And we always argue, who gonna drive? Because she can't see, I can't see.
Can't see at night.
So we have to have a designated
Yeah,
driver.
we do. My daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
But we have fun.
I have.
We
great-
have lots of fun. We laugh. We love. We eat. Don't forget eating.
Yeah,
we love
eat.
to
Oh,
Yeah.
but
dine
she
out.
always wants somebody to cook.
So,
for
but
her.
yeah, I cook too, so you know I don't mind it. But
Yeah.
we just have fun with
Yes.
each other. We understand each other, you know,
Yeah, we
pretty
do.
much.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is so keen with as we age that
Mm-hmm.
we understand one another. We know we can't say certain things now that we'll learn who each other is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that is a big plus. Sometimes older people don't have a good relationship with each other because they never get to understand the individual to know what not to say, not to bring this up, you know, that type of thing. So we understand each other.
One more thing, Emma, to remind you, you know, we had a little meeting at my house.
Speaking to the mic.
We had a little conversation at our house when we felt that we was kind of disrespecting each other.
Yeah.
And we got a meeting and we talked about it.
Whew, that
Yes.
is huge.
Oh, we almost got to
Yes.
fighting too, me and her. You don't love her. Still, she still
Because I say things I shouldn't
Yes,
say.
she do.
But
And we all do. We all
Yeah,
do.
we all do.
You know, we had to get that out of us.
That leads me to my last question with you guys. How do you stay together as friends? And you guys answered it pretty much.
Right,
Yes.
because we know
put up
when
with
we are
each other.
wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We know when we are
And,
wrong
you
and
know,
when we have hurt somebody's feelings. Elaine will call me in the middle of the night and say, Emma, I really didn't mean any harm. She will.
We'll
She
apologize.
has done
You know, because
that.
if I you know,
And
he
Ida
he let
will
me know.
alert us when we have
He
done
let me know
something
you was wrong.
So
okay,
that is the
I'm
key. You got to talk things out. You
Yeah.
got to get it out. If you know in your gut when you have said something
Yeah.
that was not too nice to your
Right.
friends. And
Right.
hey,
Or
this all we got.
sometimes-
This all
sometimes
we
you
got
may not
because we
even
don't have
agree.
no men.
Sometimes you may not even agree.
Yeah.
But I say, I'm going to be the bigger person.
Yes.
I'm just going to call her and tell her in the middle of the night that I was wrong.
That's friendship. That is friendship. 20 years in running of friendships.
And that's old age friendship.
That's awesome.
No, we are the golden divas.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, Golden Divas, I have enjoyed you guys.
I
You guys
enjoyed
have
you.
blessed my heart. Hopefully, the viewers will feel the same way. It's raw. It's everything about being human, and I love it. You guys are uninhibited. You guys are not confined by anything. You guys are just living your best life. So
are.
thank you
Right.
guys for joining me.
Thank
As
you.
I always say, is we all have the ability to change our circumstances.
Yes.
Only if we focus on what we can change.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Yeah.
Are we off the air?